Hey everybody, my name is Eric Iradukunda. I'm a digital marketing strategist and consultant. This is my journey about how I became a digital marketer. Just to briefly tell you about my education background, I am from Rwanda and I went to university in the United States of America. And just like majority of African students that go to study in America, I thought that I was going to pursue a career that was in engineering or medicine, like in the STEM field. And when I got there and started exploring different things, I started to question why in the first place I wanted to be an engineer, and I couldn't find a reason because I was not passionate about it. And I was, trying to discover other fields that were in my interests that I was really interested in. After being very curious about the world of digital marketing and digital media in general, I decided to pursue that as a career. And the way I became curious about this field is that most of the courses that I was taking were starting to bore me. I was starting to get bored and I didn't like what I was studying. And I was spending a lot of time on YouTube and other social media platforms. And I would see ads popping up, and sometimes I would go to specific websites and then I would later see ads that are related to that website. And at first they used to annoy me. I was like, all these ads, all these businesses, advertising stuff. And I was annoyed, like seeing all those ads that they were basically interrupting me watching my videos. And then at some point I got curious. I was like, how do these businesses put these ads in front of me? How do they know I was interested and visited their websites? So I began to look into it and found out that there was this huge industry of digital marketing, and a lot of people were building successful careers on this industry. And that is how I got interested in it. That is how I got curious about it. And then I could not find a single course or a single class at school that was teaching digital marketing. And so I decided to look around the internet. I looked for online courses. I watched a ton of YouTube videos. And I basically decided that was going to be my career, and I decided to be serious about it. And I paid my own money for online courses. Some of them were like very expensive, others not so much, but I found I got value from every course that I took, even though it was a process of building on like one skill, building on another and gathering all that experience. Well, I shouldn't say experience because it was just like theoretical, gathering all this knowledge. And most of the courses that I found were basically, trying to teach you how to be an entrepreneur and have your own marketing business, have your own marketing agency. And one of the things that I realized going through that whole process is that entrepreneurship in itself is a skill that can be learned. We hear a lot, especially people encouraging the youth to be entrepreneurs and to create your own jobs and things like that. But we rarely talk about the fact that entrepreneurship is a skill in itself and needs to be learned. And most of us grew up in households where there were no entrepreneurs, like our parents maybe were farmers or things like that. And we basically did not have that entrepreneurial spirit naturally. And so it has to be learned, it has to be practiced. So I got all this knowledge and I was motivated, and I was thinking, I'm going to start a digital marketing agency as soon as I graduate. I have all this motivation from all these courses and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And the reality of it was like I did not have the actual skills of being an entrepreneur. I had never been an entrepreneur before, except, selling a few stuff here and there. So the biggest challenge that I faced was thinking that just because I have that theoretical knowledge, I was going to be successful right at the beginning. And that, of course, was not the case. After I graduated, I was so excited that I had joined a field that is booming, that has a lot of demand. And I thought that, customers were going to, or clients were going to organically come to me. And I struggled for the next 5 months after graduation. I could not find a single client. And then I started to apply to jobs that were related to digital marketing, and nobody could hire me. I guess because first of all, I had no actual experience, except that I had all this knowledge that I was learning from digital marketing courses. And then at some point, I learned about the field of freelancing, and I was like, so if nobody is giving me a full-time job, let me try to find clients that can hire me as a freelancer on a project-by-project basis. And so I found out a website called Upwork. It's a freelancing platform. I created my account and then started to apply to jobs, different gigs on the platform. I think one of the most important things, especially as a beginner, for me when I was starting out, was to be patient and not think that, not give up that, oh, nobody's going to hire me because I don't have this, I don't have experience, I don't have all this stuff, and actually be patient enough and keep applying to different jobs, to different gigs. And one of the tactics that I found to be successful for me was in how I would frame my proposals that I would send to potential clients. And I would frame it in a way that shows that I'm more interested in helping them solve their problem rather than talking about my experiences, than talking about my achievements and all that stuff. First of all, because I didn't have any to mention, but that forced me to talk about how I would solve their problem. And I believe that's what led to my first client, and that led to a second client within a few days, and then within a few weeks I had a third client and a fourth one, and that started the ball rolling. After working with a few clients, I realized that there was so much demand for people with such skills, the skills of digital marketing, that businesses were willing to hire anyone who had a little bit of knowledge about it and then train them to become better, so that he or she can be valuable to their business or their marketing team. And so some of the clients that I worked with actually trained me and made me better, and used what I learned from those businesses to find other clients. From the perspective of a freelancer, I found that most companies are looking for someone that can help solve their marketing challenges, either be part of their marketing team, or if they don't have any, help them figure out a marketing strategy and then help them execute it using digital channels, digital media. It could be paid advertising, or it could be social media, email, and all these different pieces that make up the whole industry of digital marketing. So when I'm writing a proposal to a specific project, I try to be very, very specific about that company and the problems that they're facing, and try to show how I can solve them. First of all, to show that I understand the problem they're facing, and then show them step by step how I can help them solve it. And that is what usually wins more clients. I've recently moved back to Rwanda. In fact, we moved back right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And while I'm still able to work with some of my clients in the US, I've realized that most businesses in Rwanda and in Africa in general are starting to realize the value of digital marketing and the value of having an online presence. And that is creating a huge market. It's creating a huge demand for people with digital marketing skills. In fact, a few weeks after we arrived, I was contacted by a British company that has an office in Rwanda, and they wanted somebody to help them with their marketing efforts, their overall strategy, and digital marketing efforts in general. I started talking to them, and they hired me part-time because I have other things going on, and I never did any interview. I never went through the normal hiring process because I already had the value that they were looking for. I believe that one of the greatest opportunities that we have to take advantage of is on the internet. And you can be anywhere as long as you have access to the internet. You can learn these skills and compete at the global level, compete for these jobs at the global level. You can compete with people from Asia or people from America, as long as you're good at this, because companies or some of these clients, especially on the freelancing platforms, they don't care where you are as long as you can deliver what they need. In fact, I think we have an advantage as African countries, because we can compete with Americans and offer lower prices. We can offer lower prices to do this stuff and still be able to earn a really good living. And so we do have an advantage. But also locally, we can help some of our local businesses to compete, to have online presence, and really help them to digitally transform. Thank you very much for watching, and I welcome any comments and questions, and look out for more videos.